Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Trey back again here bringing another video. This one's going to be talking about a recent interview that Dana White had. It wasn't even really an interview. It was just him being drunk and guys asking him questions, which is kind of a funny interview. I'll put the link in the description. You can go check it out and watch it yourself. Anyway, so somebody asked Dana White, who's going to be the next guy, the next big fighter, the next big draw for the UFC promotional-wise, so, economically, in terms of them in sales and selling their pay-per-views after Brock Lesnar. If you guys don't know, Brock Lesnar is pretty much, or was pretty much, the biggest draw in the UFC, maybe in UFC history. But is that 100% confirmed? I think it's arguable. I think you'd have to ask some of the guys in the UFC, maybe not even Dana White, some of the other guys, to see for sure who is, because at two different occasions, I've heard that Brock is the highest, and then Dana White has also said that GSP is the biggest. So I'm not exactly sure which one it is. The UFC is obviously hurting because they lost George for a year due to that injury, and they've lost Brock Lesnar permanently. And it doesn't look like he's coming back. If you're interested, you can check out my other video talking about that. I do not believe we'll see Brock Lesnar back in UFC again. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think he needs the money. I don't think it's going to happen. So who's going to be the next guy coming up who's going to fill Brock's shoes as being the biggest draw in mixed martial arts? Dana White says it's going to be Jon Jones. And he seemed pretty sure of it. As soon as they pretty much asked him, he didn't even have to think about it. He just pretty much said Jon Jones. And I think he might be right. Jon Jones in 2011 went undefeated. 4 fights. I mean, he's pretty much been undefeated his whole career, but he fought 4 times against 3 former UFC light heavyweight champions, and he beat them all in devastating fashion, finished them all. Did not go to a decision with even one of them. His style is dynamic. It's unique. The way he throws spinning back elbows, the way he throws his Muay Thai and flying knees, like real flying knees. Like when this guy jumps, he ggets some serious airtime on his knees, man. Just highlight reel shit that you just don't see. Stuff you see a lot like Anderson Silva. People say, oh, he is a lot like Anderson Silva because Anderson Silva's got that movie video game style where he can make things work in the cage that you don't even barely see anywhere except for movies and video games, pretty much. Jon Jones is very similar to that. He can do some crazy things too. His elbows and his Muay Thai is just, it's dynamic. It's very dynamic to watch. His, when he gets guys down on the ground and he elbows them, he destroys them, man. Like you look at him afterwards and it's like, holy shit, looks like they just got hit with an axe or something in the head. Like it's crazy. He just splits them wide. One elbow against Machida and Machida's head was like wide open. That was just crazy, man. He does it to everybody. I don't know if you guys remember the disqualification he had against Matt Hamill with the north to south elbow. It's an illegal elbow, and most guys like me, I didn't even know that was illegal because I've never really seen the UFC, I've never really seen a disqualification due to a north to south elbow. That was the first one I ever saw. He was throwing north to south elbows against Matt Hamill, and he pretty much knocked him out, kind of. But at the same time, it was just such devastation that it was like, either he's getting DQ'd or this fight's over because Matt Hamill could not get back up and compete after that. I mean, Jon Jones is just a monster. There's no question about it. The big thing with him will be, is he interesting enough? Does he have that personality? We all know that Rampage, for example, has one of the most, colorful personalities in all of MMA. Guys like Rampage, guys like Chael Sonnen who talk a lot. Jon Jones doesn't necessarily talk that much, and I'd say he's not as funny as Rampage. He's not like a really, really funny guy, but could he be the next biggest draw for the UFC? I think he can, and I think he probably will be. I mean, I don't know who's going to beat him. I give him odds to beat anybody. The guys that have the best shot against Jon Jones would probably be like Phil Davis via wrestling, maybe Rashad Evans if Rashad can out-wrestle Jon, which, I don't know if that's going to happen. Other than that, who else is there, man? There's really nobody who I think can actually beat him. Other than that, everybody's going to pretty much be in punching bags for him. He's just at another level, man. Just another level. And if he goes to heavyweight, that would be huge. So I think Dana White is right. I think that, aside from Brock Lesnar, now that Brock is left, I think that the next big guy to pretty much take over MMA and be the biggest star in MMA it's probably going to be Jon Jones. We're seeing Anderson Silva probably going to be retiring in a few years. I mean, he can't keep going like this, I don't think. At least not for very long. George St. Pierre's having, health problems already, torn his ACL, and, he's having trouble. So who knows if he'll ever be the same after that when he comes back. So definitely, I think the next guy would have to be Jon Jones. Let me know what you guys think. Let's talk about it. And do you think Jon Jones will be the next biggest star in MMA? I think he will. Later, guys. Peace.